Alright, all my videos are scattered. No one probably watches them because I never get to the point. So I want to get to the point. Or do I? Yes, I do. Okay, so I'm going to focus on one topic. I'm going to try it on this video. And I shot a video earlier and I didn't even talk about what I was going to talk about. So I'm going to try to be clear about this. And this video is about borderline personality disorder. Now, there's a lot of disorders out there. There's a lot of labels, and a lot of times it's hard to find your particular label, if you will. And it's very, do not get hung up on, in my opinion, don't get hung up on labels. Labels they didn't exist hundreds years ago. I mean, it's not like, humans invented labels and they all of a sudden mean that's what it is. I mean, these labels overlap. There's so many overlaps with things. I'm just give a couple examples and I'll jump into it. But a lot of people, 90%, maybe more, diagnosed with ADD do not have ADD. They have a cultural deficit disorder, CDD. I just made that up. It's pretty awesome. But no, that's really what cultural deficit disorder. I mean, they're just a lack of proper human humanity, and that leads to disconnections. But anyway, there are a few people that do have real ADD, ADHD, and if you have real ADHD, just FYI, you will get tired when you take a stimulant, or it will calm you down. If it speeds you up and makes you stay up all night, you do not have ADHD. And I don't care what you say, that's the truth. So, alright, second thing, borderline personality disorder. It's a new one. They got a new name for it now, but it's really, from what I understand, it's like an abandonment disorder, and it's just one of my layers, but it was significant, and it can be significant. They call it the I hate you, don't leave me disorder, and it has a lot to do with a lot of people have been abandoned in their life by their mothers or their fathers, either physically, mentally, emotionally. I've had that all three, and multiple times. I've had many men in my life, that my mom would date or marry, and they never lasted long. And there's a bunch of stuff. I won't go deep into my story, but there's a bunch of stuff with that. And my father ran away, came back, we got close, then ran away again. So there's abandonment stuff there, deep abandonment, because you don't want to get close to somebody. Well, if you grow up in that conditioned brain and in those formative years, you get that abandonment, and then it grows that fear, those fear centers that, okay. And I learned very young, and this may not be the truth, but it's the truth in my world, and it's been the truth for most of my life. You can't rely on other people. They will let you down. Other people can help and assist, but not all the time. The only person that you can rely on is yourself. And that's where I'm learning spirituality, and my wife has been there for me 99% of the time. So, but when I was really in the deepest realms, and she had to go to work, and I was in the pits of hell, she had to get FMLA because her just going to work or going to do something, I felt like so, I don't know, so out of it, detached, and I often would sabotage relationships. I sabotaged my own marriage, and it's a weird cycle, and I've realized that sometimes I'll sabotage just to bring it back, to kind of renew it, because I don't know, it's just like I want to feel that connection again, and I'm used to, I'm always worried that she's gonna leave, or a friend is gonna leave, or because I've had a lot of friendships over the years, and they're all gone now, and that's because they have families, they got better, or they got their own situation, and life evolves. I don't get hurt by it anymore because I have the walls. I can get very devastated though. Like, my grandmother is passed away almost 3 years ago, and I am devastated to this day. I can't process it. So with BPD, it's emotional blunting, and it's an emotional processing situation where you can't process, you can't grieve the abandonment, which is often not even real, feels like the end of the world to some people with BPD. And I hate that it's the same initials as bipolar disorder, but I'm not talking about bipolar disorder, but it's just it's emotional dysregulation, it's a mood disorder, and you have a hard time with being around people. You want to be around people, if that makes sense. You want to be around them, but you don't. And like, I don't like people getting close to me. I don't like people getting in my face. I feel, and I'm always preparing. I'm preparing for them to leave. I'm preparing for that to happen. And I could really take things, one word or something someone says sometimes, and really, where it would, should just brush it off, I could dwell on it, and like, what did they mean by that? And does that make me not as good of a person or whatever? So it's, borderline is not, it's not the, I don't think it is the root of my issue, but it's definitely something that I deal with, and it makes me very isolated and wanting to be isolated. And then the closer I get to somebody, the more I have part of me starting to build up walls to try to defend myself from falling into the trap of that person leaving. Because at the end of the day, you have yourself. Anybody can leave you. And I know with God and all that, He's not going to leave you, and so forth, but I'm still dealing with my belief system and how that all works. But bottom line is, I just want to shoot my interpretation, my borderline story. And a lot of people out there suffering, I guess the next step is like, how do you fix that? I'm working on that myself. I'm working on trying to let go and let God, and but it's conditioned behavior. It's hard to undo. It's a knot that's hard to untie. And if you want to show your significant other, or if you want to show, your parents or somebody, like somebody that, because if you have BPD, typically you're going to be older because there's abandonment issues. It takes time to foster this condition. But if someone doesn't get it and you do have it, I don't know. Hopefully this helps explain that. That's what it feels like. You're constantly scared they're going to leave, so you have walls up. And that can make you act negative. That can make you irritable. That can make you not get close to that person. That can make you, in some cases, sabotage relationships, and make it very hard for you to be liked or want to be liked. I don't have that problem because I wear a mask, and the mask is, the longer you wear it, I thought about this earlier, the longer you wear a mask, the heavier, it becomes. And my mask is just dragging me down. It's become an anchor. It's a full body anchor. And that heaviness in the mind and in the soul, can cause a lot of issues. So there's different modalities for borderline. There's no medication for it. It's a mood disorder. I do take Lamictal, and it does help a lot. It did help a lot, and it still does help. But see a counselor, a psychiatrist, a doctor, a support group, somebody that gets it. Not a lot of people get it, but it can lead to self-sabotage behavior. It can lead to cutting. A lot of people, especially younger, that have maybe dealt with this stuff because it's an epidemic, they cut themselves, they don't know why, or they have these situations, they don't know why. And labels can help, at least identify a set of principles, a set of symptoms that can help you create a modality and help society and psychologists create modalities that can help address those set and subsets of symptoms. So that's why it is important, counselors can be very important. I haven't had luck with it because of certain issues, and I don't have the patience, but talk therapy is good. Support groups are good for me. I read some books about it, and I have some things that I'm working on that I'll talk more about, like treatment options that are available. But maybe you watched this because you thought you had it, or maybe you were diagnosed with it. I hope that this helps, and God bless you guys. I hope you have a good day. Bye.